This is a video talking about some of the suggestions I made that were added to the game. For example, Tour of Duty, the Northwest map, marathon missions. So this is the third in the series. So you know the game Order of War, and maybe you saw it in the Sandbox server. This came out after I made a post in the forums. Now keep in mind, Order of War is a game that Wargaming made many years ago. It's available on Steam. And the World of Tanks version is basically a World of Tanks version of the other game. And I said, why don't you make an isometric mode with sniper mode? And the reason why is because when you do isometric mode, it will run on slower computers and maybe even tablets. And the problem with World of Tank Blitz is that you got all these people, tens of thousands of people playing, but they're not playing against the PC players. They're not playing against the console players. Why don't you make like a tablet version that they can play against the PC version? All you got to do is make it isometric and you're done. In the Order of War, you say start here, go there. They didn't have to do that, but they kind of have to in order to control 7 tanks. I actually had the same idea, 15 versus 15, as a, what do they call it, turn-based strategy game, but I never posted it because I thought about it and I said, do you really want to make this into a turn-based strategy game where, like Civ 6, I said, I don't know if people would, I would not enjoy playing it, so I never posted it. But they took my idea about the isometric mode. They decided to do Control 7 tanks. And at first I said I didn't like it, but it was a tough game. I said, you know, I actually started to kind of enjoy playing it. And it's a nice little thing to play once in a while. And guess what? They just announced a new office in Lithuania headed by that guy, I think his name is Thane or Thane, who was the Call of Duty guy, and they're doing tablet games. What do you think they're doing? How much you want to bet they're making a tablet version of World of Tanks in isometric mode in that office? I even suggested featuring SPG for an April Fool's this year. If you look at their announcement, we're going to look it up. You will see that they mentioned some of the things in the announcement. You know what? You're going to have to look it up. I don't want to waste time. I wanted it to be flying SPG. And the reason why is because who would hate the game more than if an SPG just flies in and blasts you from behind? You know what I mean? They did SPG TD mode. I knew about the SPG TD mode wheeled vehicle because I heard about it in the Project 42 video. I already knew about it. I didn't know. He said that it was a new vehicle, but I didn't know it was going to be the April Fool's vehicle. But my idea about flying SPG, if you look at the World of Tanks news announcement where they talk about the SPG, you know what? Maybe I'll put the word flying. They did use that term where they say flying into battle. They did. Okay. And the other thing they did for April Fools, there's a video where they have ducks, like the little French tank that looks like a duck, and it's followed by like 7 baby tanks. That was also one of my suggestions because I said, you know, the rubber duck is iconic, and the yellow rubber duck, and you've got that little French tank that looks like a duck. And I might have tied it to Easter. It's an Easter, you know, ducks are Easter related like bunnies. And I said, why don't you add this somehow, the little rubber duck thing, as part of the game, maybe as like a little decal you put on the French tank or something. And you'll see in the April Fool's video, they've got the video where they have the French tank followed by all the baby duck tanks. There were so many other ideas that I had that were in the game. Platoon search was my idea. So I wanted, if you got an EBR, you get matched with another EBR. If you have a T95, you get matched with another T95. What they did was same tier, same World of Tank rating, etc. I also did the automatic clan approval, where you can go and join a clan and you get automatically approved. So a clan owner can have people automatically accepted. And I wanted a feature where you go, oh yeah, there's another feature where if you're not in a clan, you go to the clan tab. So this is my suggestion. Right now, if you go to the clan tab and it has a list of clans you can join, that was my suggestion also. I said put it right there and make it so that the average World of Tank rating of the clan is similar to yours, so they're more likely to accept you. That was also a feature that I recommended. The current damage indicators that show the amount of damage, where you can change the width for how much damage is taken. They're red and black if you bounce, and they're wider. You can set it to be wider if it's more damage. That was my idea. That was one of my first ideas. It was a long time ago. Fading of the distance indicator. You measure the distance, it used to just disappear. And I said, you know, a moving vehicle, it disappears and you don't get time to read it. You got to make it fade. Map Mondays, I made a suggestion. I said, you know, when we start the game, everybody sits at the spawn and nobody knows what to do because people really don't know the maps. And then when the first tank moves, they just follow another tank. People don't understand the maps. And then they made Map Mondays, which was on the NA server. Some of the decals, such as baby on board. So I had this idea, you know how you have bumper stickers and they say, how's my driving? My kid's an honor student. My honor student can beat up your honor student. Eat my dust. I made a list of like 20 of them. Baby on board was one of them. My other tank is a mouse, or my other tank is an E100. You know, you put it on a crappy tank. People say my other car is a Mercedes, whatever. So a couple of them were added to the game. This was before Chuck Norris, and if you look at Chuck Norris's decals, some of them have something that's kind of similar that would be appropriate for a bumper sticker on a car type of thing. And not only that, they almost always add my suggestions in the next patch. The black market may have been inspired by my idea. Many times I complained to them, we want to buy rare premium tanks. Give us a chance to buy them. They made the black market. I had another idea. Why don't you do an hourly thing where you put in the bottom corner of the garage, if you get top damage in the next hour, you win this tank. If you get top EXP in the next hour, you win this prize. And the more people on the server, the bigger the prize, and there's only one prize. They actually did on the NA server. If you go into the Wargaming Center, it was about a month ago, they said, we got a special. If you get top damage today, you win this premium tank. So they did a test version, but I don't think people saw it. It was just a different type of marathon mission. I said, here, do a different type of marathon mission, make it permanent, whatever. And, there was another idea that I had. I have tons of ideas in the game. If you look at the garage, there's lots of my ideas in the garage. And in the game, a lot of bug reports. Like there was a serious spotting bug nobody took serious until I made a video where I rammed an invisible tank, and I said, see, I rammed this tank, and even after I pushed it across the map for 2 or 3 seconds, it still didn't show the tank. It was still invisible. And that's when they went through and they figured out what the bug was. It was a caching bug is what it was. And the funny part is, before that patch, I advised them to make a new cache system. So it might have been me who caused the bug. A cache system, which is basically, I said, you don't have to load in all the tanks when you start the game. You can load them in as they get spotted, which would cause the bug. You understand what I mean? Because people with a slower connection or a slower hard drive, it would load in the vehicle slowly. They had a little bit of a caching bug. Okay, so that's it for this. I've got so many suggestions. I'm going to show you an example. You can see it's just crazy, the number of suggestions. Most of my posts are suggestions in the game. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.